The meeting to order at 6 o'clock, and Peg will say the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Larry, or anybody? I guess I've got two people out here. Any public comments?
That's later.
Later? Okay. I would like to, well, we will have a new member on the school board, Melissa J. Brown. Would you like to, now you're on camera now, up there.
So you can wave.
If you'd like to say something, you're more than welcome.
No, fine.
Okay, you're okay. All right, then. Moving on.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You'll say a lot of things as time goes on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we want. Okay, Wednesday, July 12th, 2017, public session minutes.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of Wednesday, July 12th.
Okay, we don't, I go. Okay, you made the motion?
I'll second with changes.
Yeah, I got some too. Go ahead, Paul.
No, go ahead. Based on, I know you said you had a couple. So.
Well, yeah, I do on, going to page 2, school board business, softball. It wasn't Bob that did that, it was me that brought that issue up. Right there, it said Bob. Right there. That was me that brought that up.
But Bob does care.
Well, Bob cares.
Bob cares.
But Bob really cares.
I'd like that a note to be made that Bob cares.
He does? Okay,
Yes.
Bob cares. Okay.
All right, so
got
Doug,
you,
you
Bob.
brought it up. Okay.
That time, yeah.
Okay.
That's the only one I had.
Did you do something else?
No.
Oh. No more corrections?
No, sir.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain? No, there's 3. 0. 0 right now. Okay, going to the non-public, July 12th. Do I have a motion?
I'll move that we accept the minutes, non-public session minutes of July 12th.
Second.
I do have a correction. With corrections. Go to G on the first page. We should have had an amount in there. Did you check that by any chance, Peg?
There was no amount given.
I think the amount that we should have put on there was $15.50. Earl brought it to my attention.
Okay. All right, it was not brought up at the meeting, so
Which part?
Right here.
G.
Oh, gee, sorry.
Right. I know you can't. It's my teeth. Okay. 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 With the corrections, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3 opposed, abstained. 3-0-0. Okay. Okay. Public session minutes for Monday, July 17th.
I'll make a motion to approve the public session minutes of July 17th with one correction.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. I have a correction also. Ladies first. Go ahead.
Just that they were written by Douglas Shute.
Okay. I will correct that and turn them in. I apologize. In my zest or zeal, I left it out. Just glad to get it done. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 3-0-0. All right. Earl, I think you're up.
Okay, during the last few weeks, our administration has been working very hard. It's kind of been spending a great deal of time filling in the positions as far as staffing is concerned. We're very excited about the people that we're going to vote on tonight. I think they bring to the school district not only a contact and a communication as far as their course matter, but also a desire to work with the students beyond the school day. And I think that those connections are very important. During the committee report, Paul Steer will be speaking to you about the tremendous restructuring and the structure that has taken place at Newt. where the high school offices are self-contained. In fact, one of the next times we meet, we can have the whole board go over, and when school starts, we can invite the community in, because I think that it will lend itself to, it'll work out very, very well, and I'll let the group, the committee, when Paul and Doug Shute speak, they can speak to that. But we're very excited. We are transforming many of the positions of the school. Plans are in effect. Goals are being established with the NEWT and at MES for the course of the year. And as we begin September, strategic action planning could be made so that we can have a correlation and a seamless transition between board goals and admin goals and staff goals. So we'll be working on that a great deal during the course of the next months to ensure that there is consistency there, so success is achieved by all at once. So there's not goals that the board is looking at and board that the administration is looking at and goals that the staff is looking at. They're coherent goals, and there's a strategic action plan involved with that. So that as we get to that part, Paul and Doug can speak to that, but it's been a very dynamic time. And during the course of the next 2 or 3 school board meetings, we'll be bringing to you the rest of the staff that we're very, very, very excited that we've been able to add. And I think that it's going to be a very coherent, very student-oriented team. I think we're bringing in people that really are committed to students, committed to all students, and understand the specific needs that all students have. And we're also working with the out-of-district placements of students. We're working in terms of the coordination of that. And this, I said last time, an important thing to note is where the community and the taxpayers are concerned, we're assuring that within the framework of the budgeted amount that went forth to the taxpayers, that we, the school district is very grateful that the community supported. We're ensuring that we're stretching things and restructuring things and assuring that the expended amount on the newly hired staff is cost effective in terms of the budgeted amount. Doug Shute, Chair Doug Shute, and Nathan and I have been going over it, as has the staff. And at the end of August, at the last school board meeting, we'll bring a lucid compendium list of all of the past positions, of what was paid in sum, without making note of a person's health insurance and that, but so the bottom line will be there. So we'll take a look at the amount of money that those positions were actually expended in the budget and the amount of money that we will be paying for the newly hired folks that we have. So we've actually been able to add, through the support of the board, we've been able to add positions by being very smart in combining certain things, and like I said, being aware of the class sizes and making the changes that we did. For example, another change that we did was the extended learning opportunity person, Howie Drillette, will be doing ELO. He was a social studies 7th and 8th grade. We've gone from 5 sections to 4 sections. Now with that, the next step and the high school principal and I will speak about that, and we're ongoingly going to talk about, we're going to look at what that block of time would look like. So we're going to manipulate time rather than have time manipulate us. And we're going to look at things that I've actually spoken to one of the school board members already, and they were right on cue. Like, we're looking at putting life skills and those aspects like that within the 7th and 8th grade, and looking at STEAM and trying to use time to the best degree. So in a cost-effective way, you know, the old axiom, we're doing more without expanding costs, more with less. And that's it. Thank you.
Did you want to talk about our Back Bay conversation today? Do you want my notes?
Rather than you listening to me all the time, you and Nate can speak to that, but I thought that it was a very important meeting, and I think that the communication was very important, and we were putting everyone on the same page, because I think looking through the front rather than the rear, as when I first came a year ago, we've had some meetings, and I know that the board was dealing with some disgruntlement from a lot of things regarding the communication between the staff and Back Bay and things like that. But I think that we are, we talked today to ensure we're on the same page. So you could speak to that, and Nate can.
Okay, we met today with, and had Steve on the phone. There was, what, 5 of us?
Mm-hmm.
Donahue, John Safina, Earl, myself, and Nate. And right now, we have 18 of the computers in for the MES computer room. And one of them has been prepped. It's gone to Brandon, and there's 3 others that he's got to transfer the information over. And we need 6 more, and we'll be taking care of that later on, and I think we're going to be doing that in September, Nate?
Yep.
Yeah. And what's going to happen, the big move on this, to get these installed, is going to be the week before school opens. Is that not right? The August 21st? 21st. That's just the
It's
same
going
week.
to be installed before then, but it's going to be tested
Yeah,
that week.
yeah.
So
Because
we're coordinated, because John Safina has indicated, Donahue, it'll be on your thing. We're looking at the 5 days where she's going to do the pertinent work to get the school ready. So we coordinated her time with their time so that we would have that interface and that control, so that there's tweaks in the necessary applications that students would need to perform their work would be there. So this would be a checking for understanding, so that, again, getting back to we're on the same page.
now, the initial estimate to do the 18 is $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
And when the remaining 6 will be done later on, and that will be in the normal operating year, so there will be no additional cost for the additional 6. So we have to approve this estimate, put it back on the agenda.
I think we approved the
Yeah.
work
We
being
did.
done,
We did, yeah.
but I think this, when people were looking for clear identification of what it is we were paying for. We agreed in concept, but we were just looking at the amount, and I said to him that that was the need for communication, because this had been a traditional occurrence of drift.
Well, we
So
got
we
that.
were avoiding the drifting of not knowing.
I think we took care of that today.
Yeah.
So we should be moving forward on this issue.
Well, thank you for the cost, anyway.
Now, did you want to make a status update on this? Or we just put that in your, I put this in your package just for FYI. That's what we're working on right now for positions that are open. Now, has any position been taken off this list?
ABA tutor,
No.
John?
I think we took one off. Yeah.
Or did you need another one?
Actually, That's anticipated. I guess tonight, you're getting a letter. We did interview a para today who we talked about ABA tutoring too, so
Okay.
that we possibly have that taken care of.
Okay,
We're just
good.
looking for paras right now. We have an anticipated special ed opening too, but we might have someone in place ready to go for that once that all goes through.
Okay,
So we're just looking mostly paras.
Okay.
little Paris. Always Paris.
Always paras.
So we all see-
The one at the top of the high school, so we're gonna have a name tonight for that.
So that'll be taken off your list. Yeah, right.
High school
If we approve it.
social studies and the high school sped position too. You didn't have it on here, but that was one you have on there for tonight. And then we also will have to address the athletic director that we have a resignation for and we're currently looking at. And we're looking at people to coach various sports as well. So, as we speak and as of tomorrow, we're constantly working on that and trying to get people. One of the things, so that is very important as well, so, okay.
Okay, all right, that takes care of that. Right. My list back. I don't need some notes, okay. Okay, moving on, administration. John, I think you're up.
Just to go over the informational items first, we're proposing to start kindergarten a little later on the first Monday. We do get a lot of last-minute registrations the day of, the day before, and we do like to do the screening before we place the students in classes. So what we're proposing is to have those first 2 days to do the screening of all new students and then start kindergarten full on Monday. The teachers would start like with everybody else because they'd be doing the screening. But it just gives us more time, it gives a smoother transition into starting the school day. And also with the boost camp, we're trying to get every student as much as possible in there for boost camp because it's open to all kindergarten students, which is the week before, which is the week of the 21st. So they'll have those 5 extra days to get ready for kindergarten, so that's why we'd like to do that. So if the board has no objection to it, then we'd like to proceed with that.
Now, you thought you had about 35 students for
Right now we
kindergarten.
have about 35, yeah, which is
Wow.
about 10 above the projection that we had. Yeah,
Wow.
we got a lot, yeah.
Does anybody, okay, does anybody have any questions on that issue? You and John?
I'm fine
Okay,
with it.
moving on, John.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Also, the Treasures Program, we got a reading program. The principals have a New Hampshire listserv that they, out of the Principals Association. And what they did was, they have books, or they're looking for people, furniture, hey, we're getting rid of this, or just kind of like a network. And they were getting rid of their Treasures Reading Program, and I have the name of the school, I forget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wilmington.
Gilmington, yes. Christy happened to know the principal, and so she contacted her, and we have like every piece of this program, K to 5, and it's a good program. They just decided they wanted to go with something different, and when there's lots of extra money around, I guess they can do that and just change programs. This program is, when I bought it for Fremont for K to 6, it was $60,000
Wow.
we spent on it. So it's got pretty much every single piece for K to 5. It's a used program, but it's in great shape. Doug and I looked at it today. It's boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. So I wanted to let you know about that we got that from them. Yes,
Okay, question.
yes.
Earlier, at one of the other school board meetings, you said that, the ELA curriculum is in place.
Yes.
What are you now using for a reading program, and does this fit in?
There is no real reading program in place.
Okay.
The reading program we do have is Reading Street.
Okay. I'm
And
familiar with.
yeah, you're familiar with that one. It really, I guess a lot of staff didn't like it, so they didn't. It is a very, as you know, very complex, and that's one of the reasons when I was in Fremont, we didn't go with Reading Street.
Okay.
And even William Allen didn't go with Reading Street, because it was very complex and just really overwhelming. So the reading curriculum is not based on Reading Street solely. and they're more like units that can be adapted. Now, this reading program is not gonna start on day one. We're not even sure, we haven't even told the staff we're using it, or we don't know what's going on. It is a good resource. It's got a higher rating for Common Core than Reading Street. And it's an easier program. So what we'd like to do is get some training and have the staff look at it. So this is just saying we got them.
Okay, all right.
We don't know when we're gonna implement them. We would like to get a little bit more, maybe implement it, there's so many pieces to it. We could implement it piece by piece, rather than like the full program all at once on day one. We probably need to get some training done for the program. So just, we're exploring it this year, but we already have the program, which is nice. We might pilot it in a grade or two,
Okay.
but these are just resources we have right now that we'd like to use. And I've seen this program be successful with another school, so I think it would be really good.
All right, just, you know me.
Yeah, no,
Questions?
that's good. So Christy's contract, her summer contract, she is, the old contract, it was 20 days for a certain amount of money. She's still gonna do the same 20 days for the same amount of money, but we'd like to just have the end date of the contract August 30th, whatever we was it saying in here?
24th.
24th, there we go. Because she's gonna do boost camp. She's not there this week because she has a prior commitment that she's doing a summer camp somewhere else. So she's not there for this week, so that 5 days, or 4 days, she's gonna use them during the kindergarten boost camp.
Okay.
But as we were talking with Nate, we can't just pay her the other 4 days during boost camp if her contract ends in a certain time. So we're just looking to redo the contract to have a different end date.
Will you explain what Boost Camp is to everybody? You've already
Boost
told me.
Camp is our, it's a Title I program, it's through Title I, which is basically, we invite all our kindergarten students who are new to the school, and it just gives them, it's a boost before they start school, and full days and so forth, and it gets them more acclimated to the school. It's just, it's like what Title I is supposed to do. It's that extra reinforcement, extra support for kids, and this is what we're using the Title I funds for.
I do have a question on that program. I don't know if I should wait till non-public or do it publicly, but I'm just curious, you don't have to give any names. Are the same teachers that do the kindergarten class, are they the two teachers that are going to be doing the boost camp during the summer? Are they different
No, I don't think it's the same.
teachers?
I'm not sure, no, I don't think, I can't remember. Christie put those together.
Don't
They
say
were
any
in the
names.
packet.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think that, because I know, I have to look at who it was. I think one of them is not going to be, I think one is having,
now would that be to our advantage next year to do that?
to have the same teachers.
Would that do kindergarten to do the boost camp? Because you have a problem in boost camp and you bring them into kindergarten, well, they're gonna know what the problem is, if they're there. Maybe,
I think there's certain commitments, I think there's, we
okay.
can look at it both ways, but if you want to talk about it, maybe non-public, I can give you a little more information.
Okay, I'm just curious about that.
Yep,
continuity from one to the other.
yep, I agree.
Okay. Anybody else? If you got a question, you have to just ask it. Just put your hand up.
Yep.
Well, I
And
want
then this
to know you.
Donald stipend, if you want to talk about that now, or during the non-public when we do the voting, or?
Well, we're going to talk. We'll talk about it. But you're asking for another. That is important to get prepared. Go ahead. Without.
Yeah, well,
Her name's on there.
her name's on there. So, I mean, basically what the stipend is for is, we have Power School. In the Power School, all of the students have to be enrolled, sort of like what they do at the high school. They have to be put into courses. We don't have courses like we do at the high school, but they have to be assigned to teachers with all the class lists, and they also need to be, she also does set up for NWEA, and it takes a lot of time. 2 of the guidance counselors at the high school have 5 extra days in their contract to do all that setup. We don't have anybody at the school full-time during the summer at the MES to do that, because the only ones there that are actually full-time are me and Andrea. And Andrea doesn't have the time actually to even do that, or the skill to do it. She doesn't know how to do it. And so basically what we're looking at is, because this has been done for about 4 years that she's been doing this, so just asking to have that done again so we can get that set up. She's also taken on, I think, well, I think that was Andrea who's taken on some NWA stuff from that Mary Wilson used to do. And also some of the stuff that Mary Wilson used to do, I think that a little bit of it Donna Hool's picked up too. Because this was originally set up by Mary Wilson with Donna. Because Mary just didn't have the time to do it anymore. And so that's how this got set up.
Anybody have any questions for him?
Well,
Larry?
if I may, do you require immunizations for students coming in?
That would do.
Yes.
Do
They
you
have
get
to have an immunization, right?
Do you get them?
You know what? Yes, we did very well this year. I think I have a nurse's report. I'll send that in next time. She
Okay.
did a full report that talked about how she got all the immunizations this year. So she did very well with getting them in this year.
Do you have anything else, Larry?
No, there are 95 cases of measles nationwide. You know, rising.
Was that- Okay, all right. Okay, moving on, John.
Okay, so the handbooks. Just so you know, we did this last year, and this is not the final copy. This is what I'm asking you to look at to approve tonight is the content. So, everything in red are either the changes or the deletions. You see the strike throughs. That will tell you that's what we're taking out. So once you approve the content, then we will go back and do a finished product, and I'll send it to you as informational. That here it is. This is the finished product. But what the board's needs to approve is the content of what's in it and what we're putting out there.
Okay, can I make a motion?
I have a question, sir.
Oh.
In here you have the homework, and you have like grades 1, 10 minutes. I know with the elementary that they weren't doing homework this year.
No, that depends on the grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are studies that show that the homework for the younger grades aren't appropriate. So are we gonna do a mandatory 10 minutes for the first grade? Mandatory?
These are guidelines.
Okay.
We don't have a homework policy. I don't believe the district has a homework policy. This 10 minutes is, I believe, the guidelines that we use in many schools.
Yeah, across the
Right.
country, yes.
Right, yeah. So, it's not mandatory. So basically, this is just the guidelines we've set up. So we don't have a policy in place. The other one that you might notice in here, one is green. There's a green one about electronic devices. I think it's in both of them. The green was because Christy and I weren't sure what to do with that. We were both, I had to read it. It's almost like saying, a lot of this is part of the board policy, but there's also a policy on cell phones, which is different. This is almost sounding like you don't bring in your Sony Walkmans, and it's a little dated because a lot of places students like to have their devices in because they use the devices as part of technology in the school. Even if the kids are using iPads, this is basically against the policy. So it's there in green. We didn't take it out because it is a school board policy. So I could leave it in there, but I'd like us, as the policy committee, maybe to look at those policies because they're a little dated. There's not many kids have MP3 players anymore or things like that. So, but I think I'd like to take it out or reword it to any distractive devices, anything that's distracting under the discipline section. So I'm gonna take that out until we kind of revamp it. Because I don't need to put the policies. Policies don't need to be in here. They just need to be, addressed. Like if we're gonna address any issues that we're having with handheld devices, we can use the policy. But it's kind of contradictory to what we're doing now with technology. So I'm just kind of bringing that more to your attention. So if you see a kid with an MP3 player in school, I will definitely tell him to take it home. But they don't have it anymore. So
Put it on eBay, sell it
yeah,
as
they're
an
on eBay.
antique.
They get them on eBay. So.
Alright, so you are gonna rewrite it and then resubmit it, or what?
No, I think I'm just gonna take this out.
Okay,
And 'cause I think there's something, I'll look and make sure it's kind of covered under
There was something else in here under phones.
Yeah, I
Seems
think
to
that might be
me.
here too. I think there's a phone, I think the phone policy is in here.
Yeah, no, I read something about the phones, and if the children are going home to a parent, they do not need their
Right.
phones, but
They
I
should
don't know
keep
where
them in
it
their
is.
bags and so forth.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I'm gonna keep in.
Yeah,
And just take that, the green portion out,
okay.
because it doesn't match. But we want you guys to know about that. It is a policy in the handbook.
Okay.
Okay,
So it's the same thing, there are a lot of repeats with the staff handbook, but the staff handbook has more procedures for teachers and so forth.
let me get this one out of the way, then we'll go.
Yep.
Okay, you
Alright.
want to make a
One at a time.
motion to,
I make a motion to approve the family handbook with corrections.
I do have a question. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I do have a question. On page 9 of the book, on purple pages,
Yes.
you said here, are we going to, no, I think it's mixed up with page 7 on your other page. You said in that book that you were going to send the newsletter, purple page, will go home with students each Friday. Is that what you're going to still do?
No. Is that in the
That's a,
Teacher
Yes.
one.
yes,
teacher
yes.
one? Okay,
Yeah.
I will-
So I didn't know what you were doing. I didn't know if you were doing it because maybe they don't have computers.
No, we want to send it home electronically. We tried to make, I'll say it a lot, that please let us know what your emails are. And we're going to emphasize that is a big push for parents to make sure that they get us their emails, because it's the easiest way to get the information home. Because sometimes it's in book bags, it doesn't get in a book bag and so forth. What we do offer is we let students, we do reach out to families and say, if you are not receiving this
Right.
electronically, or you can't receive it electronically, let us know, we'll send a paper copy home.
Yeah,
And
and
we
that's
can do
in
it.
here.
So we're going with what's on page 9 and not one.
Well, if you're doing one handbook at a time, yeah, this is the one, the family
We're gonna follow.
handbook
Okay, we'll
is
go.
what we're
Alright.
gonna do.
That's where my confusion, and I need to make sure.
Okay.
So anybody have any other questions?
My only question that I'm not sure whether we are gonna take it up with maybe policy, because we do have the bully policy, but you were talking about bullying prevention. Do you have a program and some training in the building?
We did it this year. We did
Okay.
it through, what's the name of that program?
Now, would that be in that handbook?
No, that's a state policy. That we should train state tax.
Right,
staff
right,
here.
but what's MES's?
What we did this year is, do you know the program, Edivate, which is the,
No, that one I don't know.
it's a really good program. Krista and I were looking at it. It's, used to be, it was called something else before. But it's an online, it's excellent. I went out to Salt Lake City, Utah to get trained on it. And it has, you can do all your evaluations through this program, staff development through this program. It has blogs, it has all kinds of things. But it's edivate.com, and they have training that are approved by states and federal government, whatever, that has like bullying. So we did on one of the workshop days, I think it was the October workshop day, we watched the bloodborne pathogens one, the all about bullying training and the different types of bullying and so forth. So yes, we did that
Okay,
in
all right.
October. And we'll
Okay,
do it
good.
again. I don't know if we'll use the same program. It was good,
Okay.
good training. So if we can access it again, because we signed up for a 30-day trial. so.
All right. Okay, thank you. I was just curious because I know that's been a question. Yeah, we have a policy, but,
Yep.
okay.
I do have, so will you be sending your purple page to all the board members? Will you continue to do that?
Yes, I'll do that.
Yes.
So I think we do have Melissa's email address.
Yeah, we'll like that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, just make that clear. So we all set to vote on this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 300, passes.
How do you want corrections, my dear? Do you want to wait?
For what, the family? Of the-
I have corrections.
You can give them to me, and what I'll do, if you have them,
Yep.
you can just give them to me,
Okay.
and I will, once I get it all done, I
Okay.
will give you the final copy, let you see it.
All right.
Okay, moving on. And the Milton Elementary School Staff Handbook.
I make a motion to approve the changes.
Can I just, what page was that? We'll get to do the,
Page 7, for the purple page.
Purple pages, yep.
On page 7.
well, that's on page 7, where we're looking at
Second paragraph.
the staff handbook. You said there was
Yep.
something different?
Page 7, it says it's gonna go home with the students each Friday.
All right, so that'll change that.
That's the second paragraph down.
Okay.
I'm sorry, lost my place for a second.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, and I went through and tried to change Blackboard Connect for the alert nows and all that, so I will make sure that gets changed.
Did I have a second on that?
Mhm.
Paul?
Paul did.
I'm sorry, I lost track of myself here. Okay. Now, the only thing I brought up to, well, other than that, he's taking care of it, is no table of contents. And he said he'd take care of that.
And I have some changes too, John.
Okay, go ahead.
If you want to give me if you've marked it up,
Yep,
just give me the copies and
Yep.
I will add the corrections to it. The content won't change, just the
yep.
notes.
Okay.
So we all set, anybody have any questions for him on this? Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 300. Okay, you're all set?
Not yet. May I have a question? I mean, I have something that I would like to,
Well, we're all done with,
I want John to take this to the school and post it and give it to the.
oh, okay, yeah, all right, go ahead, ask him.
Summer school is still in session, correct? Okay. Moose Mountains Regional Greenways is having the Woods Water Wildlife Festival on August 12th. And this year, the flyers did not go home. I'm gonna send the SAU too, or go to the schools.
They didn't send it?
No,
Okay.
don't ask me why, but
Okay.
they did not get sent to the schools. So, since summer school is in session, okay? If you
We-
could post it and let the kids know and,
Do you have another copy? Because maybe it could be, I don't know if it's out here in the lobby.
oh, I
You
don't
can
know.
Put it up there.
Yeah,
If it isn't, we'll check.
okay, good, thank you.
We can
And-
send them out alert now too, if you'd like.
Whatever you can do, I would
Like we do
love.
with purple pages, I'll scan it and have Andrea send it out.
Okay, awesome, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Did you have anything else, Pam?
No,
Oh,
not,
okay.
not here.
Not here, oh, right at the moment, okay. You all set, John?
I'm all set.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Okay, moving on, school board business. Everybody get the estimate for the repeater?
Mhm.
You wanna,
Yeah, so Milton's in need to get a repeater for the transportation. We're sharing with Wakefield, and now that the split's done, we need to get our own. Basically, it's we're all set to have it where the old one was, and we're just, I guess at this point, the Three Ponds Communication, which is the quote we have here, is the same company that currently does the towns. I guess at this point, we're looking to whether or not the board wants to go with this quote, or if you want us to search for some more quotes.
because we do have a policy of over
We have
$3,000.
to,
Yeah.
we have to put it out for bid.
Well, I think he's getting more quotes.
Yeah.
He is. But they put it on here, so I'm just asking the board.
Yeah.
No problem
Get
with
more.
Okay.
Okay, I do have a question on this. So you made the comment that we shared
Yep.
with Wakefield. So why are they not paying for what they got and we have to buy? I mean, they can keep that one because it's obviously used.
No, they are.
But why are they not giving us some money, like assets?
Well, we still owned the equipment that we purchased. It's just not. It's more of an extender than the actual full equipment that we need.
We have equipment in our buses.
Right, I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, if we have to spend this amount of money, and if, because Wakefield has the other piece that we're replacing,
Yeah, we purchased the equipment that's on the antenna right now. Milton purchased, and that was Milton's portion of the equipment.
okay.
So they don't owe us any money for it because
So
it was
is this the
ours.
service part then, this bill, or no?
I'm sorry.
Is this the service part of the bill?
This
No,
is
this
to set it up.
Set it up.
This is for the equipment and everything.
So if we already have equipment, what do you mean set up equipment?
I know, I'm totally confused.
You said Milton bought equipment already?
Yeah, Milton bought. How I understand it, it's more of an extender. So it was being broadcast and like bounced off of the repeater that Wakefield owned.
Oh, I see.
So we don't
now need
actually
different
have a repeater. Yeah.
Okay, so
To make it go
they've
farther.
bought their own
Yes.
repeater.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, that's
Okay.
good enough for me.
So we'll put that back. I think we'll have our estimates by the next agenda.
That's
I had a
what I'm
question
gonna
on
push
that
for
one.
you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It talked about, can I get these quickly? I actually did look up the prices as well. That was the assumption that the antennas were gonna be appropriate, that the tower remains intact. Do we know if the tower, have they checked the tower ahead of time? At the last page.
Where
Where it
is
says total.
as
Yes,
it
it
assumes.
assumes that the existing VHF antenna system on the tower remains intact. Has anybody,
where is that?
Well, we got one on the fire station, we got one on the mountain.
On the mountain.
Yeah, that's what I was told today.
On the mountain.
No, this is
Blueberry Hill.
This is what I was told by Nick today, that the guy that he works, he's a fireman that does the repairs for them, so he's always in. We won't have any delay if we go with them, because he's right there and he gets on it right off. They do have problems with these once in a while, he said.
Yeah, but are the antennas, are the antennas ready?
Oh, yeah.
Everything's ready, because everything works now, it just doesn't go far enough anymore, right?
But we're gonna go on the town's, the fire department's, our antenna.
Oh,
The antenna
Oh, it's
up on
gonna
the
go on the fire-
mountain,
yeah.
and the antenna are either on the fire station. We're gonna
Okay.
put our piece up there,
oh, okay, so we're moving it all.
yeah, to their antenna.
Okay.
so we don't have to worry about the antenna. piece.
Right.
Well, you can ask that question again when Tim should be coming in. Remember that question?
Okay,
Good question.
good.
Yes, it is. Well, I don't know everything about it either.
No, me neither.
Yeah, okay, so we'll put that back on our next agenda, I'll mark that down. Okay, guess we're gonna go to, policies, JICK, and then, JICBB. So I called, Barrett Christina, and I can finally get his name right, and I didn't do it anymore. He said, I asked him, is it to our advantage, they rewrote JICK, all right? Everything's in it that's in JICBB. So I asked him, is it to our advantage to do away with this one, JICBB? And he said yes, and to go to this one. And this has been written in its entirety what the New Hampshire School Board Association has brought forward, and all the changes are in it. So that's, I would,
So JICK is replacing JI.
no, we're gonna repeal JICBB, and we're gonna go to, this has been revamped,
Put this one in.
and this one's gonna take over its entirety, JICK.
Yeah, see, this one's gonna be the new one, and then you're gonna see the new one, I'll take it out.
Okay,
So
got
we're
it.
replacing it.
Thank you.
I think
So
that's
this is gonna be the first meeting, so do I have, public safety and violence prevention and bullying? And I read it, and I thought it was, it does say you can have a bullying program. and
Mhm.
It's
very thorough.
it was very thorough. I was,
Yeah, because it also talks about the students participating in an
Yeah.
annual program too, so keep that in mind, John. One of the things, I don't know, maybe I'll pass these around to maybe John if you want one, but I took this from another school about bullying, harassment, but if student actually fills a form out and then brings it to the appropriate people.
that's anonymous?
Yeah,
Okay, I think that's in here also, I
Yeah.
think.
so,
Yes,
you know.
it'd be part of the program that we'd implement.
So like the blue forms, you mean? Remember the forms?
Yes,
The RMS?
only now they're little tiny green ones.
Is that from RMS?
Yes.
Tiny green ones.
Throw down our mess.
I said RMS, who knows what that is?
You know, it's at school down in
Yeah.
East
Richmond,
Oshkosh,
Virginia,
Alabama, I think.
So I'd like to make a motion to send this JICK on. I'll make the motion to send it on.
I'll second.
Second reading? Paul, you seconded it?
Mhm.
Do I have any questions on it or anything? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, abstained, 3-0-0. Okay,
So I'll make a motion to repeal
Yeah.
JICVB.
okay, and then I'll put that back on for,
No, I'll second.
okay, it's fine, yeah. And I'm gonna put it on for a second reading, that people know that we're repealing it, okay?
Okay.
That would be
And
JICD.
Doug's, who seconded it? Sorry.
Peg.
Sorry.
So we're gonna be repealing that one. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 3-0. Okay. And that was pupil safety and violence prevention. That one. All right, moving on. Now we have second readings. And remember when I talked to the attorney said we don't have to, well, I shouldn't say that. Our attorney told us we didn't have to read these aloud, just read the headings. So, I'll read the headings. This is ACE, Procedural Safeguards Non-Discrimination on the Basis of Handicap Disabilities. That's the first. Do we want to do them as a group?
Yeah, we'll do it as a blanket.
Okay. Happy with that. And the next one is access to minutes and public records. That is BEDG-R. Okay. The next one is emergency care and first aid. It's EBBC. Video and auto recordings on school property is EEAA. Okay, student transportation services is EEA. The next one is food service management, EF. Next one is, you have some all set? You can keep going. Background investigation and criminal records check, that's GBCD.
So did this change? I know we had questions on this one. I know this is a second reading about fingerprinting and all these other different things we were talking about for volunteers. And has anything changed from the first one? Did anything
I
get
know.
modified?
Not that I know
No,
of. I'm not aware of any.
there are some questions when you do the procedure, and there's some legal interpretations that Paul asked a very good question that are constantly changing in terms of interpretation. Certain procedures that I have worked and will continue to work with the administration, and there's certain questions beyond the check itself that I'd rather not, openly talk about on TV, but
Okay. As long as they're getting more ironed out.
it revolves around the inclusiveness of there's some things that may not show up in this that the people have. So the misdemeanors, and so there's certain areas like that. But that's a very good point, and that is something that is kind of a moving thing, Paul.
Okay.
It changes.
All right, thank you.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
As I'm reading this, the one thing that does come up, a lot of questions, like chaperones. And usually we say chaperones do not have to be fingerprinted because they're usually not working with the students on a regular basis, or you really alone. They go with a group, but they're usually supervised by teachers. So it doesn't seem like that's been added that they have to be.
Well, I think I went into more, thought I read something somewhere that covered that.
But I think we certainly talked about volunteers as long
Volunteers
as
are
they
covered by
can teach it.
IJOC. Right? Doesn't volunteer subject to background investigation?
Okay, yes,
record check?
yes.
Doesn't volunteers defined and so designed pursuant to policy IJOC?
Yep.
So that covers all of that.
You're on page 91 then,
Correct.
reading it.
Okay.
Yep,
I thought I read that, yeah.
yeah.
So
As long as it's-
volunteers, yes, because they're in on a regular basis.
But like chaperones and that, I would assume they would be covered under, because they're volunteering to go on a
Right.
trip or,
But they wouldn't be fingerprinted on.
Right.
right.
The volunteers are.
As long as all that is covered, that's all I want.
Yep.
As long as we have a definition for each thing and what is covered on each thing, because I know that's what came up last time, so that's the big thing, so, good.
We all set?
Thank you.
Move on. Non-renewal and termination of dismissal of certified staff, GCQ. Procedural safeguards for children with disabilities, IHBA-R. Elevation evaluation, I'm sorry. Requirements for children with specific learning disabilities, IHBAA. That's it.
That's it.
Now I need a motion to approve all of those.
I'll make a motion to approve those as noted.
No
I'll
change.
second it.
Paul, okay. Do we have any more comments on those? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
John?
Has this been changed since, remember there was that whole controversy about not being allowed to videotape in classrooms or anything like that? And I know they went back and forth with the
I think you still
legislature.
can't do that without the board, school board's approval.
This came from the School Board Association?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As it went back and forth, it changed a lot.
I think you have to
Because it was something
get,
that
you can do it, but I think you have to get permission,
Yeah, it's
and from the
direct.
parents and the school board.
Well, that's part of the packets that get sent home where you're allowed to photograph my child and blah, 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 blah. So
Uh,
you get that signed off every year.
I'll make sure I got my vote here. 3, all those in favor?
Aye.
3, opposed, abstained. It passes. Well, that's good. Okay, I guess, Bob Adams, I think you're up.
The Damon House is at 20 School Street, is the new SAU office, so that's up and running now. So we'll no longer pay that lease, which is a good thing, down at the park. We're coming close to being able to close that project out and be able to report on that, as to what that cost in the future. We are currently under budget.
Good.
What else about that, Doug? Probably.
I don't know, I think, Paul, I think you want to,
About for the Damon House?
Yeah, I think probably just parking, we said we wanted to
Yep.
address that, so we
Yep.
have, look at on-street parking, we need to see if we can do that and finalize that element.
Yep, I think that's the last part. Is the- the
I'll
policy
do what I
part.
can do to find out and bring it back to
Yeah,
the
we'll be all set
board.
with that, so.
And then, future planning for the building would be to address the siding on the outside of the building, so we'll look at that during the budget project process. Beyond that, we have 2 summer projects. We have phase 2 of the elementary school roof, which is the kindergarten section, and that's scheduled to be worked on starting the middle of August to be complete before school starts. The other project is the oil system or supply system, which is the sump that we needed to replace at Newt. Parts are on order, and not all of the parts have come together yet through the vendor, which is Gaftech out of Dover. When that happens, then we'll actually be officially scheduled a date. Our goal has been to try and get that done before school starts, but that may not be the case.
Would you fill in Melissa on what that project is, so she has a grasp? Melissa, so she knows what that project is, the sump?
Oh, the total amount?
No, what the project is,
Oh, the sump one?
yeah.
Yeah. We had, the sump actually sits in the middle of a parking lot, which is right outside the cafeteria. And it's the low point in the supply. In return, we have a closed loop to a 4,000 gallon tank to the boiler room. So the sump is sitting in the middle, if you will, and it's the low point. And it has sensors in it. So you have double wall piping. So if anything leaks inside the fuel pipe, then it's contained in the double outer wall pipe. It leaks back to the sump, and then you have an alarm that goes off. So you have a control system that monitors that. So it's the sump itself that has failed. So we're looking at, we're actually installing a totally different design, which would be more robust to try and help prevent that from happening again in the future.
Okay. So, do you have any questions? What was the, you have the total cost on that? Just roughly, I'm not gonna,
28 something, was it?
That's what I was gonna say, like 27, 28.
Yeah. Yeah,
But it
under
included
30.
engineering that we needed for it, potential soil contamination, it's in there, contingency money, as well as the vendor obviously doing all of the work that needs to be done.
and we have I think we have a constant roof projects always going on.
Yeah.
Now,
So the roof project at the elementary school was a shingle project. And it's 3 phases. We did phase 1 last year. We're doing phase 2 this year, and then the 3rd phase will be next year.
Different parts of the building each phase.
Different parts of the building.
Completely
Yeah.
reshingling?
Just a little bit under $100,000 total for all 3 phases, and we broke it up for budgeting purposes.
Paul, you have anything more on facilities?
Well, I can roll into the committee reports then. If
Go ahead, yeah. Go ahead.
Tonight we toured Newt High School, saw all the changes that are going on over there as far as all the offices being more consolidated to one area. So you basically have a central hub for all the administration, which is nice. We took a walk through, like for instance, room 6, how they're doing in there. They're changing that over for a different purpose. How the Friends of Newt are doing a good job in there, getting all that old rotten paint off of that nice wood underneath. So they're doing a good job with that. We kind of dabble a little bit in talking about guidance and where we could change that around for next year to try to make that coincide with the rest of the administrative portions of the school. And we all previously took a tour of the Damon House. It looks really good. It's good to have everything on one main campus now, as opposed to scattered all around. So it's a lot of work. Things are finally coming together, and obviously big thanks to Bob and all the people that helped, Doug and everybody. So it's good to see it all coming together. That was our the major gist of the meeting tonight.
You wanna, water shut off, if you wanna report on that?
Oh yeah, they found the water shut off for the
Yeah.
elementary school, right? If you want to say a little bit more.
Yeah, we had the old building had one of the mains come into the old building, the 1914 building, and it comes into the basement area. And we had a leak there, and how to repair it would have been a very expensive excavation job. So what we did was we terminated that, and then we used the main that come in off School Street that comes in where the front office is. So we tied that and back feed then the rest of the old building. So that was still all connected. So then in the dead of winter, we were struggling with trying to find the shut off, but the town water department ultimately did find that shut off.
It is off.
Turn that
That's all I
one
have
off.
for facilities stuff.
I'm sorry?
That's all I have for
Okay,
government
good.
facilities.
I thought it was someplace else. Okay, all right. Before we go on, before I go to public comments and then into non-public, I'd like to, we have some minutes that are sealed, and one of them was, we got May 24th, 24/17, we need to unseal them. Okay,
I'll make a motion to unseal them.
okay.
I'll second.
And that was non-public for 5/24/17.
Okay.
Okay. Then, did I have a second, was Paul?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I mean, yeah. Paul?
Aye.
Doug, yes.
Yes.
So they'll be open, then we'll come back to us and we'll have to approve them for being,
In August.
edit them.
Okay.
Okay. Then I need a motion to unseal June 2nd, 2017, non-public.
I'll make that.
And that was for the bus coordinator,
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Peg. And Paul. Okay.
Steer aye.
Okay, Doug, aye.
Bird eye.
Aye. So they'll be unsealed. And then they'll come back to us for us to be approved.
Okay.
Good.
They're open.
They're open.
They're open.
They're
Done
unsealed
legally.
right now.
Okay, do we have any community or board members' reports?
Just did that.
Well done, that.
Right. I don't know this would come under public, if I could make a public comment or a board member comment. But I think this is part of communication to the public. I got a question regarding why a big bus was taking 6 people to the farm museum. 3 children and 3 adults. So, okay, I will find the answer. And Tim Eldridge, the transportation director, sent me why, and the big thing is prepping a bus. And I, okay, what does that entail? He sent me, I think it was probably 10 pages of safety points that the bus driver needs to go through before starting a bus and taking a bus. And I went, okay, fine. And what happened that particular day was there was a bus that had already been on a run, and it was a very short run to go up to the farm museum. So rather than going through this, what do they call it,
Pre-operation inspection.
Pre-something of a small bus, it was go. So I have to say, quite honestly, just the safety of the students in this town, this whole operation really opened my eyes. So I just wanted the public to know what the answer was to that question. So if you do see a big bus with not full, that's why. And as long as it's going on a short trip, it's okay.
Now, the other issue that I did bring up and I asked him about is he scheduled this bus, but he gets a head count before he schedules the bus.
Right, that was
And
it.
then what happens, the bus gets there, and the amount of people or students that's going to ride in the bus is not there. So he doesn't have the time
Right.
to go back and get another bus and prep it. And so he has to go on the run, because he has a schedule that he has to keep adhere to. That's another issue that,
Yeah.
that's, well, I'd say really the same issue.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you though, just looking at everything that the bus driver needs to go through before starting the bus and going and picking up the students in Milton. So it's a safety thing, folks, and I'm glad they do it. My eyes were definitely opened. So.
Well, I have to agree with Peg. I mean, I don't know everything, and I'm always learning, and I'm glad that person asked that question, because I had the opportunity to learn something I didn't know.
Yeah, so did I.
So ask those questions. So if
And
we don't-
we'll answer them.
We may not have your answer right off, but
Piggybacking off that too, I heard that they still do those daily trips. You know, that every day the school's going somewhere. And I guess today they went to a wildlife area and they had 12 students. It sounds like it's starting to pick up a little bit. The activities are starting to pick up.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
this is free activities. I mean, your kids sitting home doing nothing all day. They want to, put them on the bus. There's so many things that they can see, and I'm ready to take the whole month of work off and go.
I know, I want to go too.
yeah,
Really cool.
get a background check and do a chaperone.
Yeah. All right, that's all I had. So.
We all set?
Yep.
Did you have anything else, Peg?
No, that was it. I just wanted to make sure that the public was very much aware
I'd like to
of.
thank that person for that question.
Yeah.
Any,
Thank you, whoever you were.
Okay, all right. Any public comments?
Yeah, Laurie Brown. I just wanted to thank the board for its, what I've been hearing. And there's a few notes that I had earlier, changed somewhat by what I've been hearing. And right now, it's going to be a good first year as a standalone district. You have some savings on replacement costs for cheaper personnel, not less effective, but cheaper. And the $200,000 in special ed has pretty much been buried in funds that were put there for that purpose and drawn from other segments of the budget. Of course, there will be little to return to the general fund or to the district's own special funds, as I understand things right now. Damon House is, from my count, over budget. It is a great game of stone soup, but I think it is still under budget. Bob mentioned the siding issue. A paint for the entire building is still an upcoming issue. The roof will need replacement, and as I discussed with Bob, swale drainage by putting a diagonal east-west swale to divert the water straight to the road will be a help. On administration, team administration is in place, which means you have 4 competent administrators working on a collegial basis with each other. This reduces the pressures and stresses and tensions on the superintendent. It also means that the building principals are available to intervene, to mentor staff, and to defuse issues of behavior before they become significant. Administratively, we're also fortunate that we have stayed out of the newspaper regarding overdoses. But the superintendent's total compensation package is pushing closer to $150,000 than $100,000. This has an effect on what was originally a TRICA plan for $250,000 split 3 ways. And I just want to emphasize how much I enjoy the superintendent, his cordiality, and what I will call his 40 years experience in the administrative trenches. And it's not always obvious that he got an A in Snapping Turtle, sunning himself on a log. But you listen to the final clarity of his presentations and the points he makes, and you will see that son of a gun, that Snapping Turtle is listening. Other things. So then the problem is that nobody coming into this district is going to want to work 80% and take less than the money that's already on the table. And that's going to be a substantial budget issue. Other financial issues. When Doug came on to the budget committee at his own election several years back, he said to me personally and directly that he was there to reduce his own taxes. He has come a long way. It's a pleasure to see the changes. In May, Paul said we have to move quickly to replace Lou. We need someone who can hit the ground running, and work on the budget is coming. When Lou, long before Lou, voted to raise the cost of lunches for the poorest students in this district, she voted down $500 for the Red Cross and $250 for the senior lunch program because it was over the line in Wakefield. You're a new board. You have an opportunity to revote the lunch program. I'll be interested to see what you do for that nickel. Now, other thing. You may notice I collect information. I collect public information. I review public sources. I naturally expect that everyone here in their own towns is registered to vote and was on board to be able to vote in their school district March meetings. Am I wrong?
At this moment?
So everyone here is fully civic engagement and has voted in not even the national election of November, but in the local election of March 2016 and is registered. Just a small point. The Budget Committee will be meeting on August 16th, the third Tuesday. I look forward to the speed that the district has on, say, compensation, on special ed costs, particularly IEP third-party payments when Medicaid is not available. I say that, of course, just as an observer, but by history, I would point out that if you were looking for a phrase that will satisfy certain segments of the Budget Committee, ongoing for either a bid or no bid. The district follows best practice for the purchase of state contract and third-party group commodities and market review of consumables for district use by bid and past performance criteria, retaining the power to bypass the bid process for good cause where benefit to the district is shown. You put that in your policy, and every time you vote something by bid or otherwise, anybody who wants to complain is automatically silenced. Lastly, I would like to point out to the board that any person not admitted to the New Hampshire board, oh, by the way, bar exams are today, is a lay person to this board and to the opinion of school district council. That's a structural comment.
Would you repeat that a little bit more slowly and
Any
loudly?
person who is not admitted to the New Hampshire board is, to the operation of this board, a lay person,
Okay.
and is not the school council, by definition. That's just a structural observation.
Thank you.
I hate to tell you, Larry, but I think on that one you went over my head.
That's why I had to
Basically,
repeat it.
my position, because I am licensed in Massachusetts and Connecticut and not licensed in New Hampshire, I cannot advise the board of their legal position.
Right.
Nor would I. My position would be as a member of the public. Okay?
A lay person.
A
yeah.
lay person.
Yep.
I hate to say it, when I came in, I was a lay person. I didn't know anything. I'm still learning. Okay, is that it, Larry?
That's it.
I was a little confused. You figure on how much we're paying the superintendent. You said it was $150,000?
No, I said total compensation
Right.
package.
Right. With
Sure.
benefits
It's
and
a more
everything.
elastic phrase than a dollar amount.
But, okay, I can't.
We'll look into that. The snapping turtle down there.
There's a difference between a turtle and a tortoise, isn't there?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, much different.
Which I always forget.
Especially a snapping turtle.
Okay, good. Did you have some?
I do. In terms of school lunch programs, I do know from experience as a parent that we would send in the money for our children, both my children, on a weekly basis. However, we were notified that we had, I think it was a $30 balance. We weren't notified. What happened was, when we went down, our children were going in after eating breakfast at home and getting breakfast at school, even though we hadn't paid
Sounds
for it.
familiar.
There was another parent that had come in at the same time when I went to clear it up, who had received a very high bill. She was sending in school lunches with her son, who would eat it for snack and then purchase lunch. So it's not that the parents don't want it. We don't know about it if our kids are, we pay for a certain amount for the next week. And if they're going up and they're getting lunch, we actually had to send in a note saying, please don't give my child breakfast. So that could be part of the issue of having so many high expenses on the lunch.
It's been a sticky point for a long time. I've brought it up in numerous meetings on a way to try to solve the problem, and it keeps going in circles. There is no way to solve the problem right now, but
Well, we were
it's one of
told
the
that,
primary things we're gonna do this year.
we were told that when a child asked for a meal, that they could not say no.
That's right.
Right.
You know, if a parent is sending in the food with a lunch, then they should be able to say no because the child does have food.
Actually, there are some students that are on, the parents have said no. And what we do is, we make sure they have a lunch. There have been some kids that have come in and said, well, we don't have a lunch. They see they don't have a lunch because they ate it during snack. And we kind of, sometimes we've gone and we've called the parents and say, they don't have anything. We couldn't get a hold of them, like, give them lunch. We don't know whether they had it or not, or forgot it or whatever. So, yeah, but I think the online system, I have to look more into that, the school lunch program. I think you could go online and look at the purchases.
Right.
And we probably need to get that information more out there and let people know. We did come up with a protocol.
Yep.
I think it was like, but it was like February or March. when
Yeah,
we
it was towards the end of the
started.
year.
So it was that time of year, but
Yep.
with a 3-step system of when it gets to a certain amount, I send a letter, then you send a letter, and I still have that. We just started looking at it, but it was kind of later in the year.
Yeah.
But we
So
are
we
gonna
can start
incorporate
at the
that.
beginning.
We need to incorporate that.
Definitely.
There's people getting $50, $60, $70 bills, that's completely
I know.
Right.
So they were-
uncalled for. Uncalled for,
But
they
we've
shouldn't
been,
get that.
like, the first letter went out with the free lunch program, just in case they missed on that, and all the information about the school lunch online program, which
That goes out on email too, correct?
it goes out on
A school
email.
box?
We have magnets, I have all this stuff. So we'll make sure that information gets out.
I just know that we had received a $30 bill after
Yeah.
sending in every week, and we
Yeah.
couldn't understand
They
why.
can't keep track of who has what.
Those kids are sneaky.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
kids.
they want to eat.
All right, Doug.
It's a common problem. I mean, my granddaughter does it, I think.
She's too nice. Oh, God. All right, touch the subject. Let's move on, Doug.
Okay. Does the board have any problem with taking Melissa in with us? I don't.
No, she's non-voting, but she can
Okay.
be up on the issues.
Okay, all right, I have no problem. All right, I need a motion to go into non-public.
I make a motion.
Okay, Paul, do I have
I'll
a second?
second.
That'll be RSA 91-A-32, A, B, and C.
Steer eye?
Doug, aye.
Bird eye?
We are in non-public.
Public.